Conduct of local council elections in Nigeria, a mere coronation of candidates of ruling political parties in those states. This is coming from INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Account of stewardship after 1 year of service, civil society organization wants President Bola Tinubu to take decisive action to sustain developmental roadmap. Presidential candidate of Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, rallies round the National Working Committee of the Labour Party to mend fences amongst the aggrieved members. And Supreme Court dismisses the appeal against judgment of the Federal High Court, Abuja, rules in favor of Awufala Awoni. These and more on Political Update today. I'm Fisayo Gonfuyi. Welcome. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu has described the conduct of the local council elections in the 36 states as mere coronation of candidates of the ruling political parties in the state. He made the observation at the meeting with the Forum of State Independent Electoral Commissions in Abuja in the course of the week.
Unfortunately, the conduct of local government elections in virtually all the states of the Federation has become mere coronation of candidates of the ruling parties. It is time to stop the coronation and conduct proper elections. State governors should allow the state independent electoral commissions to have greater capacity for independent action. Some state independent electoral commissions are only constituted on the eve of elections and dissolved thereafter.
As the President Bola Tinubu-led administration clocks 1 year in office, the helmsman is being commended for holding cabinet ministers to account via the ongoing sectoral briefing as part of activities to commemorate the anniversary. Grassroots Advocacy Projects, a civil society organization, believes that deliberate action must be taken by Mr. President to ensure the continued progress and prosperity of the nation.
Individuals deserve continuity and recognition for their outstanding contribution. It is our hope that the President will carefully consider our recommendation and take decisive action to ensure continued progress and prosperity of our nation.
In reviewing different sectors of the nation's economy and the interventions made by the current administration, we had an interview in the course of the week with a former lawmaker of the House of Representatives, Sam Onuigbo. Let's hear him. How would you rate the administration so far in terms of tackling issues of climate change?
Thank you, Fisayo, and good afternoon, viewers. Well, my rating is clear. It's unadulterated. Mr. President has done outstandingly well in tackling challenges coming from climate change and then working to take advantage of the opportunities that abound while you are addressing all these issues. So for me, he has done so well, and he's been very careful and methodical about it. Because if you go and check, beginning from his inaugural address to his speech at the UN and also his actions at the climate change conference, that's COP28, then up to the piece that he wrote in the CNN opinion poll, you would find that he's been consistent in saying that Nigeria is going to do what is legally binding in trying to fight the problems that are coming from climate change. Given our location, you want to talk about the Sahel, challenges from Sahel, and why we have the Great Green Wall. He talked about the planting of 250,000, trees by very young people to check the problems coming from Sahara Desert. So he also has taken other steps by informing the world that the nation was able to enact a Climate Change Act. And he's been following in all these things. And he has taken some other steps. And of course, in that his piece in the CNN opinion, he was able to say that we are going to create a green industrial hub. And if you follow the recent appointment he made, asking InfraCorp and appointing a special, presidential committee on this matter, you will find that he chose people from different areas, where they are talking about the Energy Commission, you are talking about the Ministry of Trade, you are talking about the National Council on Climate Change and all that, has brought all these people together to ensure that he sits there as the chairman and oversees these things, because a lot of opportunities are bound in tackling these challenges. So he has done exceedingly well, and he deserves our commendation and encouragement.
Let's ask, talking about opportunities, what do you consider as huge opportunity that the government could tap into in delivering the dividends of democracy to Nigerians?
Okay, maybe I should also mention that one of the things he did after about 10 days after assumption of office was that he assented to the Electricity Act, which was passed by the Ninth Assembly. And in doing that, you will now match it with his speech, his inaugural speech, where he said he was going to make electricity available to the people. And he was going to ensure that even states participate in generating their own electricity. So these things are contained in that act. And he has put that into effect. If you look at what has happened, the encouragement that his government has given to states like Enugu, Ekiti, even Abia, and the rest of them. So these things are intended to help, because if you check the renewable energy portion of that act, around section 164, 166 and all that, you would then find that these has the opportunity, the potential to open up investment for a lot of people. What we are seeing now is that he's using climate change as one of the areas through which to create employment, open investments, attract foreign capital in such a way that you will not see all these encumbrances. That's probably why he set up this committee, for better coordination and management. So I think we are ready to go, and he's working in line with these speeches that I've talked about, both his inaugural address and what he told them at the UN.
All right, in more specific terms, if we are talking about road infrastructure, which is another area the administration has focused attention to deliver good governance, do you see any challenges that could stall the realization of government's policy on infrastructural development across the country, or do you have some areas of intervention worthy of note that you have seen in this 1 year?
Clearly, there are challenges of funds, to take up this. But one thing that happens when a leader has set the pace and the tone of how he wants to run his administration and where he wants to be, is that there is that determination to be able to find the resources and now deploy and apply them judiciously and productively. And that's what Mr. President is doing. He's started so many, major road networks. For instance, the coastal road that we're talking about, I was even discussing with a senior government official who said the road from Badagry to Sokoto will also be attended to alongside this coastal road that we're talking about. And that has the potential to open up a lot of areas, start industrialization, and even access to different seaports. So for me, that's a major achievement. Even within my region, that is the Southeast region, you will now recall that there's a road that was destroyed 54 years ago. That is the road between Achengale, Udonobizi, and Omuanwa. There's a bridge there across Imo River. That bridge was destroyed during the Civil War, and that's some 54 years or so ago. But today, as we speak, that bridge is being reconstructed with the potential of opening up the area, the agrarian areas, palm oil, palm kernel, all these things we need to be able to boost our agriculture and enhance our earnings. So that is ongoing. And then the road from Enugu to Port Harcourt, I'm sure you must have noticed that the Minister of Works has been there a number of times to ensure that it is receiving attention. Likewise, roads in different parts of the country. So for road infrastructure, he's doing a lot, and it's not going to be road alone, because in his speech he said he was going to do road, enhance the road networks, talk about the rail and the ports and the rest of them. So he's a focused leader, and he's working towards achieving set objectives.
You talked about issues of fund, but in terms of what they have been able to perhaps achieve in this short time, are they on course, or are there some areas where you would like them to still intervene?
Well, I started here by saying that Mr. President has been steady and methodical in his approach of leadership. And that's why it is interesting. I would like some people who have time to go back and read his inaugural address. He said there that we are going to, one, make sure we unify the monetary policy to ensure that the rate of exchange is one. And then we are going to look for funds and open up, investment. Challenges do come, but then you have to look for resources. One thing is that you also know that we have received a lot of funds from the removal of petroleum subsidy. The transient or initial challenges are gradually being overcome. So that opens up a lot of opportunities. And we are going to appeal to those who are in charge at the subnational level to be a lot more judicious and then ensure that funds for local government and all these other people, that they are available to join hands with Mr. President, not just from the federal angle, but from the local government level up to the state, so that we can take care of the challenges in the rural areas. Because if these resources are judiciously applied, especially in the local government, where we have 774 local governments that are supposed to be designated as development centers, we'll be able to reduce youth restiveness and some measure of insecurity.
Watch that space. We'll be looking at developments from that party, and of course, perhaps maybe it will enhance or affect their chances in the off-cycle elections later in the year. Talking about the Edo governorship election as well as the Ondo governorship election coming on later in the year. Now, moving to other matters, this one from the Labour Party. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Mr. Peter Obi, wants all aggrieved members to close ranks with the National Working Committee, NWC, to tackle issues that will better the lot of Nigerians. At a solidarity rally organized by the FCT chapter of the party, Obi and other leaders agreed that the genuine reconciliation will put the party back on track.
It is not a campaign rally, but a solidarity visit to the National Secretariat by the FCT chapter of the party to welcome on board the new National Working Committee. Mr. Peter Obi is convinced that leaders of the party at all levels need to be more united to meet the expectations of the people as a formidable opposition.
Let's not bravo for Nigeria. If Nigeria is working, Labour Party will work. If Nigeria fails, there won't be Labour Party. There won't be any other party. So let's focus on Nigeria and see that Nigeria works.
Having put all issues relating to the National Convention behind, the party says it's time to make peace.
I believe very strongly that personal interests should be put aside so that we can think together and the vision and pursue the new Nigeria that we envisage, which we believe is very, very possible. We believe
Mr. Peter Obi later visited a private hospital in Abuja, where he's partnering with some experts and donors to carry out free open-heart surgery on some children.
Political challenges require political solutions. Stakeholders in the digital subsector calling for the establishment of national policy on artificial intelligence in Nigeria towards rapid socio-economic development of the nation. Let's hear it.
The concept of the digital economy has now become encompassing, that includes all aspects of business activities. Of course, either with the use or even the deployment of technology in one way or the other in order to generate different business models.
Digital inclusion is not just about access to the internet. It's about equipping our people with the necessary skills to thrive in this new era.
The strength of our nation lies in our ability to unite and work towards a common purpose.
That's our size on political update. But before we go, a recap of some of the stories we've been bringing to you. And we'll start by looking at 1 year in office of the current administration, looking at different sectors of the economy. We'll be back with that also on Tuesday. Currently, ministers in different from different sectors talking about strides achieved so far, their efforts to also make the current situation better for those operating in those sectors. We'll be seeing perhaps more of them in the course of next week as part of the celebrations. Also from the Nigerian Television Authority, we'll be putting together documentaries, interviews, previews of the activities lined up, as well as stories surrounding the development of the nation, the challenges, and of course the achievements so far. That's been Political Update on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We'll be back again on Tuesday for another bumper package. That time we will be looking at Kano and the stool of the emir and some of the controversies surrounding that, some of the actions taken so far, the stance of the court, and the push and shove surrounding who occupies that seat. We'll be looking at that next week. That is the size between now and then. Please play your politics for the greater good and keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's finest and largest for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.